Going to get here and the impact your plans coming up on the news at noon.
WUSA 9 Weather Impact Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
We kick things off with a weather impact alert as we continue to track Tropical Storm Debby. Right now, it's heading straight for the DMV after making landfall for the second time earlier this morning. This is a live look outside of our home here in the Washington Metro. It is rainy and cloudy, and we are also showing you the radar of just when we will see rain over the next 24 to 48 hours. Thanks for joining us on the news at 12. Good to see you as always. I'm Larry Miller. The goal is to make sure you're prepared for the weather and the impact that will have on your day. Meteorologist Jonathan Myers has been tracking Debby all week. And Jonathan, as Debby moves closer to us, for your potential forecasting here is showing that we could see some flooding and even chances for severe weather as well.
Yeah, we are timing out and tracking the impact, Larry, for folks all through the DMV, all the way through tomorrow. That's when we expect this to continue to possibly impact not only plans, but impact your lifestyle and also your commuting. That really could be under the gun tomorrow morning. Some rain right now, Manassas for lunch hour, all the way back to Quantico, La Plata, Waldorf. Some of this coming down a bit heavily at times, so keep that in mind. There could be some kind of tropical downpours as we've got a lot of moisture involved with this system, all the way back to Catlett and just about at Nokesville. And then even in the district, you see some of these spotty showers, and nothing that's extremely heavy. But again, you could get some spits and spatters all the way from Silver Spring, north side of the district, as you get just north of the Potomac River here toward Cleveland Park, Howard University, and down to Georgetown. There are a couple of at least somewhat isolated heavier showers, but the real rain with this is all the way from Virginia southbound. Take a look at all of these green boxes that are located right around Raleigh, Charlotte. That's where the system is kind of centered right now, right about Florence to Charlotte. And you can see all of these bands coming in off the Atlantic and off the Gulf Stream. That's the problem. Those are very unstable. On the east side of your system, on the east side of your circulation is where you have the potential of tornadoes. Along the track is where you have the threat of the heaviest rain, and that's exactly where we are going to fall, along and east of the track. And you can see it there by early tomorrow morning. This system right now, it's barely holding on to tropical storm status as of the latest 11 a.m. advisory out of the National Hurricane Center. Becomes likely either a tropical depression or a remnant low as it passes likely over now. It looks like the West Virginia Panhandle up into western central Maryland. And what it's going to do for us here through tomorrow, the when is through Friday. The impact 1 to 4+ inches of rain. And west of the district, we're going to weight it somewhere closer to that 4+ inches of rain. So the potential of some flooding. I would move those plans indoors. And if you're not getting any significant rain right now, I would make sure that you've got your preparations in place. In other words, clear those drainage culverts, clear the downspouts. Also download our WUSA 9 app so you can stay ahead of the storm. I'm going to time everything out with the latest data to let you know what my thinking is when you're going to have the biggest impact in your neighborhood through tomorrow. Coming up in my full forecast. Stick around.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, preparations are well underway. Virginia is under a state of emergency, while Maryland has issued a state of preparedness to activate resources that could help as we await that storm. Today, the city of Alexandria plans to continue their sandbag giveaway. The free giveaway will go from 3 to 7 o'clock tonight at 133 Quaker Lane. Now, we do want to point out that there is a limit of 5 sandbags per person. Yesterday, our crews captured hundreds of residents and business owners picking up those sandbags to help protect from potential flooding. The neighbors we spoke with say that flooding is something they're quite used to.
Thank goodness, yes. I am a little bit up a hill, so we don't have any problems with flooding, thank goodness. I think it's just the price of admission for living near the water, so I just roll with the punches.
Also, a number of other counties in our area are still offering free sandbags to residents. That includes Calvert, St. Mary's, and Prince George's counties in Maryland. We also want to point out the correct way to use sandbags for anyone who may not know. Take a look at this photo from the City of Falls Church. It shows that the bags should be overlapping with no gaps. Now, as we wait for Debby to reach our area today, cleanup continues after the storm made a second landfall in the southeast, packing winds of up to 50 miles an hour. The system is dumping heavy rain and causing dangerous flooding as it continues to move inland. Christian Benavidez is in Myrtle Beach with the latest on the storm's impact.
It's still windy, but it was overnight that we saw those whipping winds and those rain bands coming in from Tropical Storm Debby after it made a second landfall just south of us. Right now, Bladenboro, North Carolina, which is about an hour from here, is under a flash flood emergency after around half a foot of rain fell in just a few hours. The floodwaters have cut the town off from the rest of the county, and emergency responders are going door to door to make sure everyone is safe. In Wilson County, a tornado hit this middle school overnight. You can see it tore off part of the roof and a wall. The twister also damaged several homes in the area. In South Carolina, 10 to 15 inches of rain have fallen in Charleston just over the past few days, flooding homes and closing roads. Nearby, the heavy rain also causing a road to collapse. At this point, the governors of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia are warning low-lying communities about the potential of flooding from Tropical Storm Debby. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
As we prepare for today's weather impact alert, right now is the perfect time to download our free WUSA9 mobile app. Just take out your phone, point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen. Once you've downloaded the app, don't forget to share your location and turn on your push notifications. This will allow you to track Debby's path in real time and see exactly when any dangerous weather may be heading your way. Now to a few stories happening in our area today. Less than 30 minutes ago, leaders of Montgomery County signed a law meant to protect apartment renters in life-threatening situations. Residential leases must now state if a building has automatic sprinkler systems and inform renters of emergency plans that must be approved by the county. The creation of this bill was fought for by the family of Melanie Diaz. Diaz died from a smoke inhalation during a fire at the Arrive Silver Spring Apartments last year. Diaz's death was blamed on the lack of a functioning smoke alarm and sprinkler system. We'll have more information about the impact of this new bill coming up today on the news at 4, 5, and at 6. Today in Prince George's County, the suspect accused of killing a 6-year-old boy will have a bond hearing. Rakeem Gilgores is accused of shooting and killing a Sean Payton during a 4th of July celebration. The little boy was one of 3 people shot that night in an exchange of gunfire. Investigators eventually found Gilgores thousands of miles away in Guyana. He has since been extradited back to Prince George's County and is facing multiple charges. And prosecutors are expected to wrap up their part of the trial for a D.C. employee accused of shooting and killing a 13-year-old boy. That shooting happened in January of last year. 41-year-old Jason Lewis says that he shot Karan Blake in self-defense. Now, this is video captured of Lewis leaving court Tuesday night, and there was no comment from either him or his attorney. On Tuesday, the jurors heard from several witnesses, including the D.C. police officer who arrived first and found Blake lying on the ground while Lewis performed CPR. Closing arguments could come as soon as this week. A change of scenery for camp commanders as the Burgundy and Gold take a trip up north for a joint practice with the New York Jets. The Commanders take on the Jets on Saturday at 12, but will get a few days of practice with the team beforehand. Joint practices have become commonplace during training camp, allowing coaches to break up the monotony of camp with some fresh competition. And even though the Jets are the Commanders' first preseason opponent, head coach Dan Quinn says it's just like having one big team out on the practice field.
Yeah, I think you want to because